and for your happiness, you might be better off just finding a different company that paid you a little bit less money.
Pissing your boss off and getting fired.
But where you weren't being micromanaged. So I'm not even saying pissing off your boss. I'm just saying if you're like, wow, if I were radically honest, I would get fired because I hate this guy, then for your own sake, take a pay cut and go work somewhere where you don't hate the person, where you can be honest at work and it won't go terribly.
So let me draw two contexts for you. You've got the context of your workplace, which you know better than I do. And then you've got the context of your world. I'm presuming that you live in America somewhere. I'm presuming that you're watching this podcast. You have a level of education. You can read and write and have your faculties about you. What I would say is that if you look at the context of the world, America, where I presume you are in it, more radical honesty is going to be good even if it gets you fired from this job. Because it might get, you piss the boss off, you stand up for that guy, he starts grinding you, you're like, I can't take this anymore. Now he's micromanaging me. I have to leave. Probably within the next couple of years, you will be in a better position for having spoken up about something that was pissing you off, because fortunately, most of us live in an America where change is possible.
One addendum, I would, if you see that as the path, just find a different job. I always think it's better to just get a different job and quit than get fired.
Oh, I'm not saying get fired. I'm just saying if he was honest with his boss and his boss took it really poorly. Within the context of your job, maybe let's pursue.
Sorry, I just want before you also might just be able to switch bosses within a company. You might be able to go above and just be like, listen, I can't. Blah, blah. I had this in one of my jobs. There was a boss I couldn't stand, and I just tried as hard as I could to work with the other bosses. So there's a way where you can maybe put yourself in a position where honesty won't be the death of you.
And I suspect that there's a way, and we've talked about this, where you can be practically honest. So radical honesty would be like, you're the biggest asshole that I've ever seen, and I can't. Like that's the true unfiltered feeling that I
would have punched you in the face. The only reason I don't is because I like my job and I don't want to go to jail.
Practical honesty might be setting up me to be like, hey, can I talk to you? And then doing what we've mentioned was like, hey, this is tough for me to say, and I don't know how to go about it. So he's listening. But I really only bring this up because I respect you, and I also respect this other guy and things, but I notice and I speak to this other person and he feels really micromanaged. And I think that he's capable of better work. I think he's capable of this, but I wanted to talk to you about it to see what you thought and see if you'd recognize this, because I do think it's a problem in your relationship and it might be actually hurting his performance and hurting the company. So there's a way to go about it that is practically honest, friendly. You get to a place where you are feeling more compassion for this boss rather than the knee-jerk anger or whatever. And it might be a macho environment. He even might take that the wrong way.
Have we ever codified the steps? Because I know we talk about this on the podcast all the time. Have we ever just labeled them?
Been like, I'm sure we have at some point. Yeah, but
might be worth doing.
We'll come up with maybe a patron sheet and just be like, oh, check it out.
How do I be honest a lot, and
how to have tough conversations.
Like, you acknowledge the person. You talk of facts and feelings. We should just try to codify what it is.
Sure. But that said, I think if you taking to a private place and doing the things that we've mentioned there is probably worth doing. And yeah, it might, I can't promise. It's a macho environment. This guy might have a really hard head. You might not execute it as perfectly as you want. And it might not go the way you hoped. But I think that if you're in a similar context to me, which isn't perfect, I've never been a minor, but at the end of the day, you will be happy that you had the guts to do it. So your self-esteem will rise. There's a chance that it makes things go much better. And it'll really, perhaps most importantly, your self-esteem will go up and you'll have looked out for somebody. So I think it's probably worth considering practical honesty here. Cool. Next. Hope that you guys enjoyed that clip. If you want to see more like this and have us do more podcasts, we are 100% funded by our generous patrons. And if you'd like to contribute, there's a link in the description, and we'll have one pop up on the screen right here so that we can do more podcasts where we have fun conversations and hopefully some deep ones like this. Either way, hope that you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one.